So where we were, we probably lost all that I did with Ralph's soldier. And Ralph is probably gone to bed. So we're gonna, nope. Good, it did, it saved. So Raylan is here. So even if Ralph isn't here, oh, thank you. Thank you, Renee. You guys are getting to be so good at being able to help me. So we need to go down to research because, let's see, what did we miss? Okay, resistance comms. Although I can't hear. Oh, the game is muted. Oops, hold on a second. I was like, I can't hear the game. It's because I muted it. There we go. There we go. Game sound. Okay, so rapid excavation was the breakthrough that we had just gotten. I'm so glad we didn't lose that in the crash, the great crash of winter 2017, because there's a sound, repeating sound. Let me.
The science is eager to begin, Commander.
Okay, let's go out. There we are. Okay, it must have just been this big research thing, but hopefully you guys can hear that. And all right, so we have the most important thing. We wanted to get that rapid excavation research because we have 3 days for the guerrilla tactics school. And I was saying that we don't have an engineer. So let me just actually go out and here and do a nice intro for the people on YouTube and kind of start this in the right way. Get my head into the game, as it were. So this is XCOM 2, War of the Chosen. For Total Noobs, this is our last recording session of this. Next week we're moving on to a new game called 7, The Days Long Gone. But as of today, it is April 1st, 2035 in the world of XCOM 2, War of the Chosen. It's about 9:17 a.m. and not about, I mean exactly. And as you can see, the Avenger is parked in a new place here. And I believe it changes every time you load the game, basically. To review on some of the things that we talked about earlier, for those of you on YouTube watching this later on, I had a power outage. So I'm just going to repeat some of the things that we talked about earlier. And that is the importance, reminding you again about the tech tree here, and how this mod, this is a mod, my mod list is available in the description box below. But the tech tree will, sorry about that, will allow you to, if you get confused, for example, wondering why you can't contact a local area, you need to research resistance comms, for example. And all of that is available here. Modular weapons, for example. It's not too hard to read once you get used to it. You basically, this is your first level of stuff here and what it leads to. The numbers refer to, and it says here over here, it says how many days it normally takes, depending on the difficulty you're playing on. On Legendary, the secondary number, the number behind the slash, that number is longer. Legendary, for everything takes longer in Legendary. So the only numbers you'll need to be paying attention to are the numbers in the front here. Just to give you an idea of how long it's going to take for your research to complete. We also have a new soldier. Ralph donated a soldier to the cause, and we'll be taking her out today. Her name is Raylan. Ray seems, and I don't know if her biography will make it over. Let's see. Yes, it did. Perfect. That's awesome. So I had read that, but I'll just read it again real quickly. Born in Australia and has stayed in Australia for her entire life until now. During the war between humans and the aliens, Ray Seams developed an unhealthy obsession about the war and would train all day, every day to join the resistance. Ray was a younger woman at the time she initially joined the resistance. However, due to constant attention from her male comrades, Ray realized she had made a mistake in joining the resistance, but she instead devised a plan. She spent years preparing to fight the aliens, and it wasn't going to allow some pesky men to take that dream away from her. She faked her own death, and a few months later rejoined the resistance disguised as a man, Ralph. Years passed, and the resistance group she was part of disbanded. XCOM was quick to notice what a good marksman she was and recruited her to join. She is now free to return to the resistance as a woman. Everyone now calls her Ralph, though, because of her alter ego. So that's Ralph. That's Ralph there. And and let's change her nickname because Ralph had asked for that. We will change her nickname to Ralph. And we'll be taking her out on the next regular mission. If it's a black site mission, we're going to take our best soldiers that we have, because otherwise we'll get toasted. All right.
Commander, we can now work to establish contact with local resistance groups operating out of regions around the globe. Once we've collected sufficient intel to make contact, we'll need to scan the target region for the operative signal.
All right, communication systems are online, Commander. We can now make contact with the local resistance in eastern U.S., and that's where the black site is. The black site, and I'm going to review again here the screen of the bridge. This is where we're at. We're on the map screen. We can also contact the western U.S. So, the Avatar project cutscene happened already, and I was just momentarily thinking as to whether I should just show that to you again, but you'll see it when you play the game, and basically it announces this Avatar project in more detail. The counselor contacts us and tells us that the aliens are making their they're getting further on with this project, and we need to stop them. So let's talk a little bit about this entire screen, now that we're full enough into the game to see everything that you're going to see for the rest of the game. Up here in the left-hand corner, and those of you in chat have already seen and heard this, but a refresher for you. Up here in the left-hand side are the objectives, and the objectives are what moves the story along. We've researched resistance communications, so we can now contact the resistance where the black site is and get more intel to find out where it is. We're going to make contact next. Everything that has this star around it is story related. So these mission down here, this Advent black site, is what's going to move the story along. So objectives are always on the top left. Up here in the middle of the screen are four different important notes. The first one is how far along the Avatar project is. If this bar fills, the game isn't lost. However, it will give you, I think, 28 days to lower this bar. The way that you lower this bar is by taking down a facility. Facilities have not yet started showing up on the map. They will as you play. The black site is basically the first facility. Over here is information on the Chosen. The Chosen assassin, Jax El Baldur, is here. This is information on her, who her adversary is. War of the Chosen introduces 3 new hero classes or factions, and to counter that, it introduces 3 new Chosen. And we've met one of them, the Assassins. So the Reaper class, and that's Dragonova for us. We met her last week in a cutscene and mission introducing the Lost. So we'll take a look at this when we go out on a mission and she appears. The Chosen will keep appearing until we finally defeat them at a Chosen stronghold. Dark events are events, this is in the base game. Dark events are in the base game. The Avatar project is in the base game. The Chosen is for part of War of the Chosen. But in dark events, it's things that the Advent Coalition, basically the aliens, are trying to do to stop us from succeeding. You can click here and see. Right now we have just one. We're in the beginning of the game, but later on there'll be 2 or even 3 of these advent events that we're trying to counter. It will show us how many weeks until this is to come to fruition. And Malchik is saying Dragonova and Mox. Yep, Moxie baby, we love Mox. So, and last time we got to rescue him. So, hi MJ. Wink. Hi Pumpkin. So 3 weeks is when this will come to fruition, and missions will come up which will allow us to counter this. In XCOM, for every threat there's generally a counter. Over here are the factions. We've met the Reapers and the Skirmishers. There's one more faction that we have to meet. We probably will not be able to meet that faction today, because the time that we have to live stream is shortened because of how late we had to start in the storm. When we build the resistance ring, we'll be able to make changes to this and fulfill tasks that the factions need in order to build influence and add more cards. Behind my head here is a bar which shows, and in fact, let me see if I might be able to quickly change the location of my webcam. This is a trick that I have learned in OBS, which will hopefully allow me to quickly change my... Boom. Hopefully you guys can see that change out. I hope so. We'll see in a minute. Yep, good, it did. So, up in the right-hand corner here, you can now see, you'll see contacts. We have, when you finish the resistance communications, you automatically get 3 contacts. The contacts are what you need to contact the different regions. Engineers and scientists. We only have 1 engineer. That's very little. We need engineers. They'll give us opportunities to get them through the resistance ring, through missions, and through scanning different things here on the map. Alloys and Illyrium are for building armor and weapons. There's none of those, but we'll pick them up as we go. Intel and supplies, we are pretty good on those. Intel is what we will use to buy things from the black market when we see the black market, which we may be able to do in this session. It shows how much income we're making as well too. Down here on this side here on the bottom right hand side is rapid excavation and and oh, hi Angie. Yay! Well, it works out perfectly, Angie, because a storm crashed. You probably saw that. But anyway, so it tells you how many days are coming up for different things. As you get later into the game and as you get into higher difficulties, this matters more because you'll want to time things to happen at certain times. For example, you might be choosing between whether you should scan for supplies here or perhaps gather these rookies here. You might say, well, I only have 3 days left till I get a supply drop, so I'll have supplies, so I'll scan for the rookies instead. Things like that. Down here just tells the current time. We're going to pass time by scanning around the world. And then finally, I'm going to bring myself back up to the right-hand corner where I'm used to being. There we go. And down here at the bottom, it just shows the tech tree and any kind of warnings that you have. Low engineers, we know that. If you click on this, it will tell you the different ways that you can solve this problem. So it's basically saying that as well too. It's saying how to gain more engineers, how to solve the problem that it's warning you about. Down here, we can see all of the different locations by toggling the resistance network. We can now see where all the resistance is located. Unfortunately, we cannot yet contact the resistance. We have to contact the resistance close to us, gain their trust and connect with them. And then over here, the next resistance, word will spread as it were, and we'll be able to contact the next resistance. If you have any questions about that, let me know. So that's basically the bridge there, the whole bridge. And at this point, I think we're just going to go ahead and start scanning the battlefield for supplies. We're going to get another mission, and we'll do that and take that, and then we'll do the black site. That's what I'm aiming for. Let's keep scanning. A mission will pop up eventually.
Guerrilla Tactics School now operational.
Cool. So the Guerrilla Tactics School is done, and I will show you why this facility is very important, and you want to build it fairly soon. Each facility that you build gets this little cutscene. It's pretty cool. I love the sectoids with their little bellies right here. And people like take their swords or their guns or their fists and practice popping sectoids, and then anyway. So the Guerrilla Tactics School allows us to train a rookie as a specific class. Because I have been playing on a fairly low difficulty to show you guys everything, and also because I didn't really mind taking rookies out, I built the Guerrilla Tactics School later than most people would recommend. Generally, you want to build it, if you're playing at higher difficulties, you want to build it pretty quickly. The first, maybe the second facility that you build, because it allows you to not have to take rookies out. And rookies at higher difficulties can be a liability. So, let me know if you're following along in chat and if I'm saying things clearly and hopefully. So, we could put like Ray Lynn in here, for example, but I'm not going to do that because I'm going to take her out in the next mission. If I put her in here, she'll be in here for 5 days. I believe it's 3 to 5 days. And she'll miss the next mission. So I'm just going to take her out as a rookie. But we can put someone else in here. We'll just put Heathery in here. And she will train. Now, the other benefit of the Guerrilla Tactics School is that it allows you to choose your class. I have a mod, which is called Commander's Choice, which allows me to choose the class of every soldier. But in the game, without that mod, the game will, if you take a rookie out on a mission, bring them back, the game will automatically assign them a class. Commander's Choice allows me to get this screen and assign them. Anyway, so if you don't have Commander's Choice, this is a nice way to be able to assign a class, the class you want. When choosing what kind of class to assign, I would recommend going quickly over to the armory, clicking on View Soldiers, and clicking on... Awesome, thank you. I'm glad to know that. Good. Okay, and then clicking on class and sorting by class. That allows you to see the number of soldiers that you have per class. So you know that you might be short for sharpshooters or need more grenadiers or whatever. We have 2 grenadiers, 2 rangers, 1 sharpshooter, and 2 specialists. So that tells me we need another sharpshooter. You can head to the Guerrilla Tactics School from this screen as well too. So I'm going to train Heathery to be a sharpshooter. So that will put her here, and she'll begin her training. Over here, the other aspect of the Guerrilla Tactics School are new combat tactics. This is probably the most important part of the Guerrilla Tactics School training center. And I'm just putting a halls in to help me get through so much talking. You start out with 4 soldiers. Eventually, if you continue to keep a squad of that size, you're going to be overwhelmed by the enemies. So, getting a squad size upgrade is important. It costs 50 supplies, it's instant, and so we're going to get that. We can now take out 5 soldiers. In order to get the squad size 1, you need to have a... You need to have someone at, I believe it's sergeant rank, not corporal rank. I think it's sergeant. I'm pretty sure it's sergeant. To get the next level, which is 6 soldiers, you need a captain. So some people try and rush a bigger squad size by concentrating all the kills on one soldier to get that soldier promoted as soon as possible. That's one tactic. Hello, Joe. I am very glad. I am very glad. And I already spoke about how that happened, but yeah. We were very surprised because normally power goes out for much longer, so we got very lucky. So anyway, that is basically the guerrilla tactics school. When a new soldier comes out, you want to throw another soldier in there until you have all of your rookies trained up and you don't have to send them out on missions. Now, since we have this tactics school, we have an engineer free. We can have them speed up clearing machinery, or we can have them build a facility. What I'm going to do is, let's see if we can build a laboratory here. That's what I'm saving that spot for. And we don't have enough supplies. The game wants you to build the resistance ring, and I will, but I really want a laboratory first. So I'm going to, and the reason why I want a laboratory, and the reason why I'm so focused on that, is that it gives more of those awesome breakthroughs that we saw earlier that speed up different things that would take a long time in the research queue. And it also speeds up your research time overall. How long it takes to research, how quickly it takes to research everything. So it's pretty important. And so I want to sock my supplies away. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an engineer, if I can. Silly me, I only have one engineer. What am I doing? So I only have one engineer, so I can't really do that. I can...
Commander, I'm going to need more help on the engineering team before I can start clearing out some of these other rooms. We should recruit an engineer.
I'd love to, sister. Let's try and do that. I'm hoping the game will give us one sooner or later.
Commander, we just got word that the Resistance hit an advent supply line. We have an opportunity to salvage some high-value materials, assuming we can clear out the alien forces guarding the site first.
So, this is a supply raid, and these are actually a little challenging. So we're going to learn a lot on this mission. Let's, So, they're moving valuable alien technology. We want to launch this mission. And, you know, actually, I'm going to ignore this for a minute. It just occurred to me that I should go ahead and build the resistance ring. The reason why is because, as much as I'd like a laboratory, the reason why is because it will allow us to get a Templar, and I may be able to show you the third hero class before this live stream is over. So let's go ahead and build it.
Commander, we've pushed our current power systems to the limit. We don't have any capacity to spare, which means we can't expand our facilities further.
So we have reached our power. Up here in the right-hand side, just to my face, which I think is this way, is the power capacity. So we need to build a new power supply area. And we're going to do that, you know, here or here. And we'll do that as soon as we have this engineer free from clearing this alien machinery.
Commander, we've got local resistance forces waiting to make contact, but we'll have to make the first move. Commander, we have a mission available that's reliant on time-sensitive information. We can always finish our scans later, but failing to take on this mission could have serious repercussions for the resistance movement. So, let's talk a little bit about that. If you decide to skip a mission, should you decide to skip a mission, the game, unmodded, will be quite harsh on you if you skip a mission. This mission is part of this region right here, our starting region. If you skip certain missions, you will actually lose contact to that region and have to start recontact them. I feel that skipping missions, particularly as you get later on in the game and you have powerful soldiers and you're
you're just waiting for something in research to happen so you can move on to a facility or something like that, you really just don't want to do another mission. You don't need the supplies. You don't need whatever it's offering. I do have a mod in the mod list that makes the mission penalties less severe. In general, though, it's a good idea to go on the missions so that you don't lose your regions without a modded XCOM. So this is Operation Irksome Sleep. I thought that said sheep. Irksome Sleep. And it's a supply raid mission. These are challenging, so let's go ahead and do it.
Setting course for Sector 8, Mexico.
Raiding time. Absolutely. When you first encounter a mission, you won't know how it works. That's the thing with XCOM. Be prepared to lose at first, simply because you couldn't possibly know how the mission works. I do know how this mission works since I've played before, and I know that it involves needing soldiers who can move quickly. We're going to be trying to grab as many supplies as we can before they get to them. Therefore, I'm going to look for my soldiers who have a high movement rate, like Renee here, 13. Praytel Mox has 15. So let's have Praytel lead this one. This soldier, whoever is in this slot, is soldier number 1, and is who I, from a role play perspective, consider to be the leader of the squad, basically. Also, we're going to want to try and get people to bond. We have two people bonded already, so we want to take out people who are bonded. But also, we want to get Praytel Mox an apprentice. So we want to send him out with someone who we hope he'll bond with, if we continue to send them out on missions together. So for this one, let's take Vivan. I think that Mox and Vivan might make a great team together. And then at this point, we can take out Brianna and Kalkin. Now, the problem is that there's not a lot of room for soldiers here. And, hello, Asia. And thank you for that, Joe. I appreciate that. Any thumbs up that you want to do? Awesome, very helpful. Helps other people to find the live stream. So we're going to take out Mox, Vivan, and then I really want to take out these two, but you know what? I might not be able to. This is one of the things you have to figure out who you can take. I promised Ralph that I'd take out his soldier, so I think we should take her out. And then I'm thinking, you know what? Actually, I'm redoing this whole thing. So the way I want to do this is I want to take out the soldiers of people who are actually here in chat. So let's try this again. Morgan is not here. Renee is here. Angie is here. Joe is here. Malchik is here. And I promised Ralph that I'd take him out. So I'm going to take out Nova because I want to play Nova. I'm going to take out Malchik. Have you had a chance to go out on a mission yet? Let's see. You have. I love your character. She's a specialist. You know what? And I'm going to take her out because she is a specialist, and I'm hoping that she might end up bonding with Nova. Yep, Malchik's been out on one. So the next one, I want to pick someone who hasn't gone out a lot. Chocolate hasn't got a soldier yet. Chocolate, I know that you said you wanted to send me a soldier, but you hadn't written her bio. Since this is the last week that we're going to play, I probably won't be able to add your soldier in now. So, let's take out Joe's soldier. She's a grenadier. Oh, Angie and Joe are both grenadiers. And I could really use Elena. Elena will be very helpful on this. I should also focus on people who have... Malchik can move quickly, so I'm going to take Malchik. And Raylan can move quickly, so I'm going to take Raylan. That gives me a rookie, a specialist, a spark. I could use... I think it's going to be up to... Oh, both of you guys have the same movement points. Thank you, Chocolate. Mothering is here. Good, there's Mothering. So Mothering, you know what? I'm going to take out your Reaper. Because I'm focused on getting a hero class in. We won't have any Grenadiers, but we'll be fine without them, I hope. We'll have a specialist. We'll have someone to scout for us. I wonder if I really need her, though. I really could use a Grenadier. I really could use a Grenadier. So I think it might come down to Joe, because I think Angie's had more missions. Who's had more missions? Let's see. Oh, look at Joe's character. Isn't she awesome? She's had 2 missions. And I think Angie's character has had 3. Yep. Okay, that decides it. Because I feel like we could really use a Grenadier more than we could use that Reaper. I just did that. Nope. Joe. Okay, so that's going to be our team. So, one of the things that I encourage you to get used to doing is when you're outfitting your team, I encourage you to, thank you, Mothering. I encourage you to remember to go down and build items, because if you've researched new armor and new weapons, which we have, you'll have, now is the time to go to engineering and buy them. So make sure to upgrade your squad before you go out. Click on build items. So, oh, we have no supplies. This is gonna be difficult because we have no supplies at all. So I can't build any of these upgrades. We spent all that time researching the upgrades and I have no supplies because I built a facility. And this is where you come into it with commanding. You know, you have to remember, well, should I have built that facility when I really could have used the supplies? I probably would do it differently now. But oh well, we're gonna have to go out with our low-level weapons and do our best. Mox has a flashbang. I'm gonna unequip the barracks so that we can get back these supplies here. If other soldiers are carrying them, we won't be able to choose them. So I just by habit click unequip barracks. We're gonna give our specialist the med kit. And Malchik, by the way, did you name your gremlin? I don't see a name for your gremlin. Oh, it was Froggy, wasn't it? No, that's Sisters. What was yours? Mr. Jessa is around, Asia. He, Sherbert. I don't know how your name got changed, but, well, oh, there it is. I have to assign Sherbert to you. That's where it went. There's Sherbert. Okay. Okay, so let's just double check. We have a flashbang, we have a med kit, and we have a couple of grenades. That's basically going to have to do it. Down here are ability points. Once we build a training center, I believe it's what it's called, we'll be able to actually use these ability points with our soldiers. Although, you know what? I'm lying. Nova can use it beforehand, but our soldiers can't. I'll show you what I mean. You can too. I must have a mod which allows me to do that. So I take that back. But what I've gotten in the habit of doing is before I go out on a mission, I will just, if a soldier has any ability points to spend, I will use them to maybe get them another skill. So I could use this to get him adaptive aim. But I think I'm going to save these points. this skill looks okay to me, but overdrive is something we can only use once, maybe twice per turn. And it seems like a lot of points that we could use elsewhere for something that we can only use once or twice per mission is what I mean, not per turn. So that means everybody is ready to go. There's nothing else we can really upgrade with them when we can't use weapon. We don't have any weapon mods, so let's hope we get some in this mission. Let's go out and do Operation Irksome Sleep. Last tip for you. I would highly recommend, particularly once you get more upgraded, once you get more soldiers and you're adding in upgrades and adding out upgrades, that once you have your soldiers set, you quickly go out here to the main menu, click Save Game, and then type Squad Set. Because if the mission goes south, or if you want to play it over again, or if you want more practice, you won't have to go through and reset up all your soldiers. That's a little trick for you. Let's go ahead and do Operation Irksome Sleep. Moxie, baby! Leading the crew.
Yes. You're in position for deployment.
Nova has the skill called Bulwark, which allows him to use us as cover, or allows us to use him as cover. That's what I mean to say. Yeah, I learned that the hard way too, Angie, which is why I stressed teaching you guys about it, so you don't have to learn it the hard way. And now we enjoy a nice long loading screen. So my teacup is still a little warm because the power went out. My teacup warmer that it sits on. Bradford's about to talk.
Our latest intel suggests Advent ran into problems while airlifting supplies from a secure depot in this area. We have an opportunity here to take advantage of their delay. Locate their supply crates and tag them with our transponders. Firebrand will pick up the signal and snatch the cargo.
And Malchik is correct. If you are playing on Iron Man, that would not, the tip that I just gave you about going out and saving the game and naming it Squad Set, that tip would no longer be relevant if you're playing Iron Man mode. However, since this is XCOM for total noobs, I highly recommend that you do not play Iron Man. Don't play Iron Man, because it restricts you to one save file. I also do not recommend Iron Man mode if you're using mods, and since I have highly recommended mods for you, I'd recommend that you just don't mess with Iron Man mode. It restricts you to one save file, so if a mod messes up that save file, if you screw up and misclick, which happens all the time, if you have any problems whatsoever, you're screwed. Your campaign is done. So we're heading out to the wilderness of New Mexico to do a supply raid and procure some Advent supplies. Let's do it. Ah, that beautiful, beautiful drop in. Look how cool we look. Look at Mox. I love Mox with his baseball cap. That's my Mox. I love it.
Advent forces are in the process of airlifting a number of supply crates out of this area, and we have an opportunity here to take a few for ourselves. Locate and mark the crates with transponders, and Firebrand will handle the rest.
So we start out concealed, and this is why I was thinking that Elena might be good to have. But in the end, I'm gonna go with I went with what I went with because since we're starting out concealed, and Elena's best on missions where she can stay concealed throughout the whole thing, and as we're about to see in this mission, that might be a little bit hard. So the first thing to do is remember what we had said about blue moves and yellow moves. You always want to, or you usually want to take a blue move and then a yellow move. Yellow moves are dashing. Blue moves will just get you up here. If we move to, say, here, and there's a pod of enemies right here, we're in a lot of trouble. If the other 4 soldiers can't take care of that pod of enemies, we're dead. So just reminding you of that really basic thing, because that's really, I think, some of the #1 deaths in XCOM is just dashing into the fog of war. So I'm going to move up to this. Of course, I would prefer to have some full cover, but that's not going to be so graciously given us. So Mox is going to move ahead.
Moving there.
I'm moving Mox because he's the team leader. And that's just how I like to do it. I like to move them in order. It reminds me as to who is the team leader. So there's no one here. But like I said, moving up here could be pretty dangerous. So in that case, I'm going to play it safe. And I'm going to just move everyone up. Aiming for cover where I can. So this is Nova. I'm going to move Nova up. I'm going to yellow move him. It's fairly safe to move him here where I'm doing this, because it's right next to Mox. And so that means, you know, this square is fairly safe to not reveal someone. Because we're concealed as well, even if we did reveal a pod, we're concealed, so they wouldn't see us. And we'd still have some time to respond. And at this point, I want to keep Malchik. So I'm trying to get Malchik and Nova to bond. So I'm going to keep and I like having a specialist and a spark work together. It's just fun. I feel like the specialist would have tools to heal Nova on the battlefield or something like that. So I'm going to move her right up next to yep. Joe is telling me that Nova is cover, which I do remember. And Joe is our grenadier. I'm going to move her to full cover here.
Oh. All right.
Oh, what? You don't like it? So what? What's the problem? And that leaves Ralph. And I'm going to move Ralph right in here next to Joe. And because Ralph is the rookie, I like
Position confirmed.
I like to keep my rookies with a kind of next to a higher level character, soldier, for role play purposes. You know, there's no real tactical benefits to it, but I feel like as a rookie, you should have to kind of stay under the wing of another higher level soldier. At this point, we're going to overwatch and see what we can see on the battlefield. If anything patrols into us. And there we have our first patrol. It's an Advent Purifier and an Advent Officer. So they don't know we're here. So Advent isn't going to start marking supply crates until we try and grab the first supply crate. So, and actually until we reveal ourselves. That's not true. Until we reveal ourselves. Let's start things out with some fun. I'm going to put Moxie here because it is full cover.
I will go.
He will not be seen. And I'm going to use Justice on this officer. That's going to, you know, show us, that's going to reveal us. And that's what I want to do. Let's go ahead and start out on this pod. We're going to use Justice on the officer. The Purifier, is, explodes, can explode. It is a unit which can explode. So you don't want to do anything that, anything melee ranged, like go up and hit him, for example. Because if he explodes on you, you'll take exploding damage and it'll probably kill your soldier. So let's do Justice. We have a 97% chance. This will pull the officer to us and we'll do a ripjack strike. We won't kill him, but we have 4 other soldiers to clean up the mess.
Come to me.
Haha! Plus we get to hear Moxie say, "Come to me." Moxie is excellent for that. He's spotted a flanked enemy. We are revealed, and the officer is hanging out here in the middle of nowhere. So now the officer is going to run for cover because once we get revealed, Advent has an opportunity to run for cover. Because we're nicely spread apart here, we should be able to get an easy flank on this purifier. Joe can get a flank here. Ralph can too. Because Ralph is a rookie, I would like Ralph to get this flank, if at all possible.
Finally!
Well, fine, Ralph. 73% chance. It's a little low because Ralph is a rookie, hasn't got great aim. 70%, it's all right. What did I tell you?
More?
I told you, purifiers explode. So now we have some fun here. I'm going to take our wonderful spark here and
Proceeding to target.
point blank damage. 95% chance.
Terminated.
Terminated, brother. So, the urge is to want to run ahead and take this supply crate. I would not recommend doing that because we have 2 soldiers left. If there is something here, which there's highly likely to be something there, we've double moved, we can't respond, and we only have 1 soldier to respond to the problem, and we're sitting up here in half cover. So let's prepare by moving Malchik to, say, here.
What's over there?
Just next to some full cover in case something's over here, but it's more likely something will be here. They'll walk up and they'll flank us, but we'll have a chance to move. So that's how that works. Joe is here. I'm going to double move Joe up to, say, here, because I want her to keep up with the rest of the group.
Let's try to keep it moving.
Exactly.
We don't want to be out here any longer than necessary.
I love her voice. Necessary. All right, is everybody following along?
Covering now.
Welcome, Alduin. Hi, welcome to chat. Uh-oh.
Heads up out there. It's the Elder's assassin, and she's moving into the AO. Advent has already marked a couple of crates for extraction. If we move quickly, we may be able to mark them for ourselves and prevent their airlift.
So, this is the secret that I have discovered for how to do this mission without getting your butt too firmly kicked. And that is to wait until Advent marks a crate and then mark it back to us. So, Mox, who can move, as you can see, has a good movement range here. I'm going to move him right up here. Now, one thing to note is, and in fact, I lie, I'm going to move him here. One thing to note is that when you mark the crate, let's say we're right here, and there's enemies right here to the left. When Mox marks the crate between our turn and the enemy's turn, or at some point, the crate, when it's airlifted, will be removed, removing our cover. So there will be a short period of time at the beginning of our turn where we'll be sitting in no cover. For example, with this crate right here. So it's important to keep that in mind. So if I move here and they remove the crate, I'll still have this half cover from the train. If I move here and it removes the crate, I'll still have this half cover right in front of me. It's not great cover, but it's better than nothing cover, you know? So I'm going to move Mox here. Does everybody understand what I'm doing here? Let me know if you are following along.
Ordered.
And as expected...
Without the introduction of human DNA, these creatures once operating under the guise of thin men now show their true form. A purely reptilian species.
No reason for them to hide. The aliens don't need an infiltration unit anymore.
So, We now, as I expected, have some enemies on the board. And we also have the assassin. So I have a mod in which stops. There's normally a reveal that happens with when the Chosen shows up. There's a reveal, and when we see new pods like this, there's a reveal. You'll see that on most other XCOM playthroughs. I've turned that off because I hate the Lost, and I hate seeing the constant up-close camera of the Lost every single time you see them. And unfortunately, it just removes all the reveals, and I don't like that. So, but what can you do? I decided I would rather live without the rest of the reveals, and rather than having to see the Lost, because I hate the Lost so much. Anyway, if you have any Chosen on the field and you are unsure as to what their weaknesses and strengths are, just up here, if the Chosen is on the field, you'll be able to click that button and see. Because the Chosen will always spawn across the map. So just because the Chosen is on the field, don't go, oh my god, we're all gonna die, oh my god, ah! There's no need to panic. Okay, well, panic less. Still panic, but just a little bit quieter. Because the Chosen need 2 turns to get to you. So you can kind of keep in mind that they're here and try and prepare for them. She's immune to melee damage. She's immune to Shadow Step. Her weaknesses is that she takes increased damage from close range attacks. And what I meant is she's immune to like if we click Overwatch and she passes through, our shots won't take any difference. It won't. She's immune to Overwatch. Her adversary is the Reaper, and I was considering that when taking out Dragonova. Dragonova can do more damage to her, but in the end I felt that Dragonova, it'd be better to take out a different soldier. So maybe I made a mistake. You never know if the Chosen's gonna show up, so you have to take your chances. Anyway, so we want to basically get up close to her and shotgun or something that isn't melee right in her face. Okay, so let's go back to Mox here, and I click on him, and she can be bombed. Yes, she can. Hello, Jason, welcome back. So yeah, this snake person is a Viper, and they are very dangerous, and it's our first time meeting them out in the battlefield. So what we need to do is she is the most difficult enemy. We want to get rid of her as soon as possible. And over time, you'll get a feel for who the difficult enemies are. The stun lancers are awful because they can come run up to you, they're melee units, and stun you. Sometimes they can even put you unconscious, and occasionally they can crit and kill you. However, these 2 are close enough that we may be able to get a grenade out on them. So, Joe is pretty far back, and that's unfortunate. And the only cover I have for her is this half cover. However, her grenade should be able to reach. I'm going to move her to here. And let's see if we can grenade this snake to at least take her cover out and make it easier. We might, we can just reach her, but we can't reach. And also, this right here is supplies that have been marked by Advent. We won't be able to claim those supplies. So I think we should at least do Advent a favor and blow them the heck up. Let's launch a frag grenade and take out her cover. This will cause damage to a friendly object. It's warning me about blowing up the supplies, but we won't be able to get to them, and I'd rather not give them to Advent, so yes.
Incoming!
Take that, Advent. Joe is so cool. Her character, I should say. She is too.
Unless they leave us no choice, we should try to avoid damaging the crates if we want to bring home anything useful.
And every time Joe, he gives us that warning. And it's true. We don't really want to break crates if we can't help it. If we can help it. So from here, Malchik may be able to do some damage Nova might be able to do some damage, but I think we're going to need an overdrive right here. Or, you know what? I think we need an overdrive. Because if we overdrive, so you'd remember that you can, every unit has, the basics of XCOM is that every unit can make 2 turns. But oftentimes that is there are skills available in the game for each class that allow you to overcome that and give you 3 options. Overdrive is the Spark's 3-turn ability. If we press overdrive, and he does that cute little animation, we can move him twice and also get a rocket off. I'm going to move him first to here. And that still gives us 2 movements. So it's as if we're starting our turn from here. At this point, we can use a rocket launcher. And we may be able to... Oh yeah, this is gonna be sweet. So with this rocket launcher, we can take care of this Viper and the unit behind them that we can't see, but I just know he's back there. Blow up all their cover and cause them a crap ton of pain.
Of those born by the Elder's hands, not all are created equal.
He also still has an opportunity to take a shot on the Stun Lancer.
Trajectory failure.
Yep, it was only 57% chance, so what do you expect? I'm gonna move Mala up close to get a little better chance. I don't like this half cover. However, the Stun Lancer is less likely to shoot us as he is to stun us, in which case the cover doesn't really matter.
Okay, I'll go.
Since Mala is a support class, not Mala, well, her name is Mala, but Malchik is a support class. I'm gonna wait and take her move last. I mean, just in case. Over here, Ralph is all the way back here. There's not a lot that Ralph can do. However, Ralph can move to full cover here.
Tired of waiting around.
Ralph's voice is a bit testy. I'm gonna have to change it. And I can overwatch on him. Or her, I should say. So that leaves Mox to shoot at the Stun Lancer. I think. Yep. 63% chance. It's fair to middling. Whoa, there's a tree in my way. Four damage, serviceable. And if you use up both of his turns, he can still mark the supplies, so don't worry about that. You don't have to use a turn to mark the supplies. So we're going to mark the supplies now.
Good work. Advent's locator is down and our transponder is active. Firebrand will handle the pickup.
And Snake down and out for the count. Agreed, Alduin. By the way, Alduin, I'm so glad to see you again here today. Yay! So I'm gonna set you for... I'm thinking I might just overwatch them both. He's either gonna run at us or he's gonna try and run away. What's her chance to hit? 57%? It's not great, really. I'm just wondering if I overwatch him, he will know that we're overwatched, and he might just try and shoot. So I'm gonna take this chance. It's pretty low, but it's a chance. And that's all we needed.
That's it.
Got it. All right, so at that point we can now move Ralph up. Because we don't need to keep him back here for overwatching.
Let's move already.
And I need to say her, because Ralph is female, because we're doing an all-female run.
It moves.
And this is the game telling us that there's another pod back here. And here comes the Chosen.
Firebrand is on deck for recovery. Keep marking those crates, Menace 1-5.
So now we need to look for the next crate that's been marked. I don't see it, but we're going to move ahead with Mox to here. Because the Chosen is very close by. And with this, the first XCOM game, a lot of people played it very slowly, doing what's called Overwatch creep, which is take a blue move, Overwatch everybody. Take a blue move, Overwatch everybody. The developers wanted to create a more exciting game than how people were playing it. So they created missions like this one where you have to kind of run. They put timers in. They did missions where things are being, we have to run towards crates in order to get them. And they created this whole problem with they added the Chosen in. It creates more exciting gameplay, absolutely. So I'm going to move Malchik up here.
I guess that'll be okay.
Yep. And let me know if you guys are enjoying yourselves, if you're following along, how things are going. I'm going to move our Spark up here. We just want to move people as far as possible to get to the next crate, which I don't see. I don't see. There's a crate here, but I don't see an ability to mark it yet. So we'll just keep moving forward until we can find a crate. There's one there. But right now we have to be concerned because the Chosen is about to make her move on us. So it would be awesome if we could see her. I'm going to move Joe here. And I'm going to move don't want to double move Ralph because I need all of our shots available.
Let's do this.
And the problem is that there's no Overwatches are no good for her. So I'm wondering if I should have someone move ahead. And the reason why is because I know that the Chosen is close by. If we move ahead, we might be able to reveal her. If we move ahead and reveal a pod, then we still have 4 soldiers' shots to deal with it. I wouldn't move to anything else but full cover. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move Mox here. And the reason why I'm going to move Mox is A, he's a hero class, and I think it's just appropriate for the story. He's the leader of the team, and he should be the one to kind of sit out here in the open. Well, not in the open, but up front, ready to take the heat from the Chosen. But to make things a little bit easier on him,
Move it.
I'm going to use my support class to aid protocol him. This will give him plus 20 defense. A quick little lesson, I think I've done this before, but a quick little reminder of armor versus defense. And it took me a second to understand that, Alduin, but Alduin just said, is saying that in my book, girls rule, and Alduin is not a girl, but yeah, girls rule, absolutely. This is definitely an all-girl run, except for Mox, because he comes as part of the story. So we're gonna do aid protocol on him. Now, defense, giving them extra defense means that they're harder to shoot at, harder to hit. Extra armor means that they're not harder to hit, but if you do hit them, some of your damage is taken off due to the armor. That's the difference between armor and defense. Important difference to remember. Go, Malchik, go! So we have that plus 20 defense now, and at this point, I don't see any reason why we should overwatch on everyone else. I'm gonna move Mox up. Actually, I'm gonna move our Spark right here to give extra cover, as it were. Let's see. I'm gonna move here. The reason I chose to move here is that he is cover, so I'm gonna give that cover to Joe.
Yep, I've got it.
And then I'm gonna give this cover to Ralph.
Here I come!
At this point, it's the assassin's turn. So they've marked these supplies. We want to go for these.
They're moving as quickly as they can to get those crates. If we want our share, we'll have to move just as fast.
I'm taking damage!
That's what I was worried about. However,
You will not suffer long.
We've got our shot at the Chosen. Let's make sure it counts.
All with the Elder's command are at my service.
so he's going to run for cover. Easily flankable cover. And she's going to run because she's a chicken. Yes! Oh, yes! Sweet Jesus, yes! She has just earned her demotion. She's out of here. This, I happen to know that this thing right here is a huge explosive. Oh, Joe! So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to move Joe to as far ahead as I can and keep her safe. I feel fairly certain. Well, you know what? Let's do this in order. It's important to plan out the order of your turn and think things through instead of just kind of getting excited like I did and go, let's kill the Chosen right now. We have a crate over here. We really need to grab this crate. Whoever is over here is going to be sitting out by themselves for a turn. And I don't like that. However, our Spark can move here. Or I could move him here. You know what? What I'm going to do is I'm going to look through our team here. 11, 14, 14. Okay, so Ralph, it is time for you to earn your stripes. I'm gonna book Ralph over here. I feel fairly safe about this. Fairly safe. Because I'm moving laterally. It's less likely that there's enemies I'm gonna reveal over here. This is the edge of the map, as you can see, this red line here. It's more likely there are enemies up here. If I were booking Ralph up here, I'd be a little bit more worried. He'll be behind, I keep saying he, she'll be behind half cover, and she'll be able to grab this crate for us.
On the move!
Go, Ralph, go. She's definitely gonna earn her rookie stripes, or earn getting them off, that is. And now we've got this guy to deal with. Spark can move pretty quickly and also provide cover for someone else.
Movement engaged.
This is a dangerous move. There could be somebody over here. We're gonna go here.
Enemy unit destroyed. Weapon ammo depleted.
Woo! That's beautiful. Beautiful sight. Now, that leaves Joe to do some serious damage to this this Chosen who's sitting right here. We also absolutely need to get Mox up and awake, because what the Chosen is trying to do is gain information about where we are, how to find the Avenger and take us down. What she does is every single turn, the first thing she does is daze a soldier every time. If the soldier remains dazed in the next turn, she will come over, extract knowledge, and disappear off the battlefield. We want to stop her from doing that. We want to kill her. So these yellow, green tiles denote tiles that you can stand on and it's a green action, a free action, to wake Mox up. Unfortunately, the person she does it on takes damage. I'm gonna move Joe up here. To get her close enough to launch that grenade. We're going to attempt to blow up as much as possible around her in hopes that it all explodes and kills her.
Time to have some fun.
The reason I knew that that was an explosive
Status confirmed. Mission accomplished. Excellent work. Great job, Commander. We sent the Chosen back to their masters with a few scars to show for their effort. If they decide to face us again, we'll be ready.
Awesome. When she went to hide by that, I was just like, oh, sweet Jesus, yes. That gives us 5. Oh my gosh, are we done? Oh my God. We killed all the enemies and we're done? I thought there was another pod. Wow. So that means that we get whatever was in here. Don't worry if you didn't pick this up, this loot. If the mission ends, it'll take all the loot and all the supply crates are ours. I can't believe that. That went perfectly. So, and by the soldier being injured, and I don't know of any way to counter that. If you know of a way, let me know. But the assassin's first move is always that, and you can't really stop it because you can't find, unless you manage to find her before she can make that move and shoot her. All right. The saviors of humanity, absolutely. Let's scroll out here and get Spark. I love Spark. He's so awesome. And look at this. Joe's like, does my butt look good in this? And I'm like, yes, it does, actually, Joe. It does. All right. Yeah, that is Mala from Skyrim. Hello, Supreme. Welcome. Oh, will Mala return? No. Her story is complete. All right. So, I know that's... Hello, Electric Babies. Welcome. I know that so many people loved Mala. And she's, you know, but I feel like if I continue to stay with her, I will never...
left in their wake. XCOM refuses to let go of the ways of the old world. They will continue their wanton and reckless crimes until the entire world burns around them. We are grateful to the Elders for their support in ending this menace once and for all.
You know, I feel like Kenlin really hasn't gotten the I don't know about support, but and she's, I think, a very enjoyable character. And her role play is enjoyable, and people, I think, just aren't really giving her a chance. And I've learned that if people really like something on YouTube, they'll really want you to continue to produce just that type of content, which will make you very, very weak creatively. It's important to continue to do new things, try new characters, try new styles, and not give in to... Because otherwise, you would just end up doing the same thing for the rest of your time on YouTube. Period. You'd never get a chance to do anything else. So I feel, you know, Kenlin is like Alduin was here last night when we played Kenlin, and people
This just goes to show that the Chosen are vulnerable and we can take them down. We just have to figure out how to keep them down.
Oh, yay, Mox has a bond available. Wonderful. You know, I mean, people, they bonded to her, but I feel like Kenlin, you know, she's just as good as, I mean, to me, she is. I love her. So Mox is wounded 11 days. 11 days. I could have lengthened or lessened that time. However, I was, you know, the mission ended before we could get Malchik to his side to heal him. So we have a lot of promotions. Ralph here. Let's first do, yes, I'm so glad Nova has a promotion. So this is Rainmaker or Strike. I love both of these. I'm gonna go for Rainmaker first. And then I'm gonna get, Strike first, and then I'm actually going to get Rainmaker because I really want he's gonna be using a lot of heavy weapons. Mox, poor Moxie baby. Mox is going to go with Zero In is very good. Oh, Volatile Mix too. I'm gonna go with Zero In, but I am gonna get Wraith as soon as we can. That's a good point, Logical. I see what you mean. Logical said, well, I'll actually, since I want to keep it on XCOM, I see what you mean. I agree with that. I see that. Although you should be aware that the Civil War quest line has a great deal of roleplay in it, Logic, that people are not giving it a chance for. They just see Civil War and they think, oh, I don't really want to watch that. Whereas she's doing the Civil War, she's doing Helgen Reborn, she is turning both of those things into an incredible spy series. She's building her own mercenary army. She has fallen in love. She's going to end up either being the general's right-hand secret weapon throughout the rest of Tamriel, maybe, or she's going to end up being a steward for the new town, Helgen. There's a lot going on there. And, yeah. Anyway, let's do Malchik here. So, medical protocol or combat protocol? We're going to go with combat protocol. I do that for all my specialists. We'll go back and get medical protocol. How much would this cost? 10? Oh, actually, let's just get it now because she has the ability points for it. And then we're going to promote Ralph. These, Oh, Malchik, I would love that if you drew another picture of Kinlan.